Hello and welcome viewers to your favorite Iron Port, the #1 current affairs platform for all things maritime in Ghana. It is made possible by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Iron Port is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, in line with our tradition here on Iron Port, we review the year 2024 and forecasted for the year we have just entered. To help us do this, we had none other to do justice to the subject than Dr. Emmanuel Kofi Mbia, who is a maritime consultant and legal practitioner. Take a listen.
If you look at Ghana, for example, and then you look at our seaborne trade, and look at cargo throughput through the ports of Tema and Takoradi in 2023, it's about 26.5 million tons.
Right.
Again, coming out of a pandemic era and seeing a little bit of a rebound.
Yes.
So that indeed is a good sign. And looking at 2024, even though we have not gotten the figures up to the end of the year, December,
yes,
there is every indication that we are likely to maybe slightly edge the 26.5 million tons of 2023.
yes,
Most likely. If we do not, we may be just around the 26.5 million tons.
right,
And the attribution for this would be, I believe, will have to do with the election.
right,
Anytime we have elections and elections that are characterized by a lot of tension,
yes,
etc., there is always a wait and see attitude,
yeah,
and that puts a damp, if you like, on
imports.
Yeah, imports and then trading. So if we are not able to edge above the 26.5 million tons
Yes.
throughput, as I said, the attribution will be
Right.
mainly, I believe, due to the elections. But all the same, I mean, judging from the fact that we are doing about, in November, 21.2 million tons, and looking at the quarterly performance, the likelihood that we'll hit 26.5 is very high. Yeah.
I'll be coming to you for the trends that stakeholders or industry players should be watching out for, looking out for in 2025. But I just want to take your assessment of the performance of ports in Ghana and then the sub-region, and maybe, if you like, Western Central Africa.
Yeah, increasingly there's a lot of competition.
Right.
There's no doubt at all about it. You know that Nigeria has gotten its act together by opening up the Lekki port.
Right.
A deep sea port.
Sure.
So that provides some competition along this range.
Right.
The port of Abidjan, provides some competition, and now Lomé and even Benin.
Yes.
And recently Senegal, the port of Dakar is investing about $1.2 billion.
Wow.
In its infrastructure in the port. So along the west coast, undoubtedly there is a lot of competition. And this is where, as I indicated, it will be important, as it were, for us to put in place appropriate strategies,
yes,
appropriate mechanisms to ensure that we remain competitive. Because there are others who are also gunning for the same business.
Absolutely.
And consequently, steps taken by GPHA in this direction are most appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, like I said, trends that
more freight.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, I said that global seaborne trade has increased by about 2.2, almost to 2.4, percent in 2024. Right. And I said this is against the backdrop of the supply chain disruptions,
right,
that we have seen, especially in 2024. The Red Sea region, is characterized by the geopolitical tensions that we see,
yes,
creating a lot of uncertainty. I think last year I told you that uncertainty is good for romance, but not good for business.
Yes, sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
and that also has created a lot of uncertainty and brought about volatility in freight rates. So if you were to look at the Red Sea, for example, the Red Sea, the Black Sea,
yes,
because of Russia-Ukraine.
Yes.
So the ports of Odessa, the Sea of Azov, All these places are creating, if you like, disruptions to the supply chains that exist on these routes.
Yes.
You know, if you take the Red Sea, for example, there is a rerouting of vessels. So now vessels are doing the long route across the Cape of Good Hope.
Right.
You know, and it means that the steaming time is extended, the number of days is extended, more fuel is burnt, you know, and consequently you pay more, you know, and freight rates therefore also go up, you know. So do insurance premiums.
Yes.
So all of these have characterized the trade, the Red Sea, the Black Sea. If you take the Suez Canal, for example, traffic in the Suez Canal has dropped by almost about 70%, arising out of, as I indicated, the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East area.
Yes.
Then also climate change risks. Climate change risks. The Panama Canal, you know, even though I would say this is easing in the latter part of 2024, this has been easing.
Yes.
There still has been a drop of about 30%, you know, of traffic through the Panama Canal. What this means, in effect, is that you use longer routes.
Right.
Longer routes, as I indicated,
Added cost.
Yeah, added costs. And added costs will be passed on in the form of freight rates.
Right.
So we are seeing increases in freight rates in this regard. The other pertinent thing that has influenced, you know, the trade in 2024 has to do with the quest for the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah.
You know, so decarbonization,
Yes.
you know, has come to the center stage, and consequently, for the targets, you know, that are set and what is expected, would mean that sometimes they have to apply market-based measures.
Right.
And these application of market-based measures imply, for example, that in the European Union, you know, they have an emission trading system, ETS, and in these emission trading systems, you as it were, buy credits for the emissions that you will, and consequently, buying credits in this regard means more money by shipping lines, and consequently, again, these will be passed on to shippers, you know, and so developing economies are basically at the like the losing end.
Okay, the receiving end,
the receiving end of all of this, because the impact of these on freight rates normally hits hard on developing economies.
Yeah.
You know, if you look, for example, at our level of imports, for example, so you can imagine. So I think there is a concerted effort by many developing economies to argue for a just transition.
Right.
You know, the transition to low carbon fuels, you know, cleaner energies, etc. That there should be a longer time frame, you know, within which we can achieve some of these. The developed economies, on the other hand, you know, are moving so fast in doing these things, and consequently, the impacts are felt by us in the developing economies.
Right. You mentioned the Red Sea and the Black Sea. I just want to find out from you what the security situation in these areas at the moment is at the moment.
Yes, the situation is still what it has been in the last couple of months in 2024.
Right.
And that, as I said, accounts for the rerouting of ships, especially around the Cape of Good Hope.
Absolutely.
Because the turbulence is still high, the risk factors are high, insurance premiums in using the route is very high. And as I said, it has led to a significant drop, you know, in cargo passing through the Suez Canal. Almost about 70% of traffic passing through the Suez Canal is rerouted. You recall that last year you mentioned that we were receiving a lot of containers.
Yes. Sure.
We need to look at this carefully.
Right.
Not so much cargo that is coming into.
Right.
But these are boxes that are being dropped in Tema and transshipped.
To other places.
So
Yes.
that is all part.
I understand you have to draw your microphone closer.
Yeah, that
Yes,
is
yes,
all
sure.
part of what we need to bear in mind.
Right. What would you, advise stakeholders in the industry to do going into 2025 to ensure that they stay afloat?
Yes, great. 2025. I think it's a good year.
Amen. Amen.
Someone said 5 times 5 is 25.
Right.
So it's a good year. So let us say that 2025 is a good year. One, there is the likelihood that we'll see increase in global seaborne trade. Clarksons, Drury, UNCTAD, I believe even the World Bank figures, all of them point to the fact that we are likely to see an increase in global seaborne trade again of about 2.4 percentage points.
Right.
So definitely we'll see some increase in traffic in that regard.
Yes.
But I mentioned that we have these disruptions, of the supply chain, the geopolitical tensions, in the Red Sea,
Right.
in the Black Sea, and also the issues of climate change risks, they still abound. And these are consequently affecting, the business. So if they remain protracted, we may not see the same level, that is the 2 or 2.4% increase we are talking about. There may be a contraction, in terms of global seaborne trade.
Yeah.
That is one thing I can foresee.
Right.
The other thing is the volatility as far as freight rates are concerned. With the decarbonization,
Right.
there is pressure.
Right.
Especially, I think today I heard that we have crossed the 1.5 temperature increase.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely the pressure is high.
Sure.
In Europe, the targets they set in 2024 for the trading of carbon emissions was around 40%. Now they are hiking it up to about 70%.
Right.
This will affect ship owners, and once it affects ship owners, they will pass on the cost to shippers. So shippers, freight forwarders, they should brace themselves for increased freight rates, especially, as I said, if these disruptions I refer to as the geopolitical tensions, if they continue, if they become protracted, then the likelihood, that we will see increase in freight rates is very high.
Right.
Then also, because of the retrofitting, because of this decarbonization, the greenhouse gas, new vessels, the order book is expanding.
Right.
So we are expecting new deliveries. One would have expected that with new deliveries would have meant new tonnage, and therefore with tonnage would have had a drop, in terms of freight rates.
Right.
But unfortunately, because of these downsides I have mentioned, even though there will be new deliveries, etc., we don't expect to see a significant increase, or decrease in freight rates, as it were.
Right.
So that is the way it portends. That's the way it looks like. When it comes to the container trades, the likelihood is that it will continue, to increase. China, the figures recently indicate a more positive trend in that regard. And anytime China grows, it grows to the rest of the world. So that also portends good as far as the container traffics are concerned.
Right.
These are some key things that we'll look at. We are expecting that in 2025, global seaborne trade should reach 12.8 billion tons.
Okay.
About 12.8 billion tons. And it's remarkable. I mean, when one looks back at 2019, 2020, I mean, on the back of the pandemic era, and then post-pandemic, having come to 12.8 billion tons, I think it's indeed significant.
Right.
And when we come home, I think there is goodwill.
Right.
There is goodwill as far as a new government comes into place. Immediately, it sends a signal that yes, Ghana, we've had a very good transition. There is calm. at the end of the day, it is good for business, and we expect that it should bring in investments. Right. And once that happens, we expect to see growth in that direction. If we look critically at the agricultural sector, if we look at the blue economy, if we look within the blue economy, tourism, but if we look at the blue economy, if we look at the agricultural sector, if we look at import substitution, as I've mentioned, and make these as key drivers, I believe that we'll get a very vibrant maritime industry in 2025.
Right.
So you just heard from Dr. Kofi Mbia advising stakeholders in this industry to brace themselves up for a busy year. Dr. Kofi Mbia holds an enviable portfolio, which includes being a former chief executive of the Ghana Shippers Authority. However, this conversation you just watched was the abridged version. You can check with our YouTube to have the whole full conversation. Now, let us hear a few comments on the subject we have just discussed. After, we will go on break and then return with more news. Stay tuned.
Albert from Takoradi says, hello Iron Port. Thanks for giving us a recap of the year 2024 and outlook for the new year. Reliable platform as usual. Can you please ask Dr. Mbia what he thinks of the benefits the oil and gas terminal in Takoradi will do for Ghana?
Yes, I think we discovered oil in commercial quantities way back in 2010.
Yes.
Thereabouts, and it's been a long time now, about 14 years.
Yes.
And so it's important that we don't look at the oil and gas business as some isolated business. We should look at it more in terms of an industry. Therefore, what an oil and gas terminal does is that it provides all the facilities such that other players, even within the sub-region, can utilize the facilities which we have in the oil and gas terminal in Takoradi.
Right.
And that will be of great benefit to not only the port of Takoradi, but the ports of Tema and Takoradi as well.
Absolutely.
Amma Bonnie from Tema says, hello Iron Port. Shipping line costs have been a persistent issue for the Ghanaian trading community. What practical steps can be taken to address these high costs and ensure fair practices for importers and exporters?
The good news is the passage of the Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024.
Yes.
I have had a quick look at it, and I believe that some of the challenges that have bedeviled, the industry with respect to these charges. Yes. Once there is proper stakeholder engagement for the purposes of implementation, the appropriate regulations are put in place.
Right.
We create like a market regulatory system, such that there is approval, for charges and things based on the market.
Right.
So it is not one of high-handedness, but one in which, based on a number of parameters, you arrive at figures and then put a monitoring mechanism in place and ensure that people are complying with those charges. I believe with that we'll have some progress.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP, available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifu, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back, viewers. Now on to some good news from both the ports of Tema and Takoradi in our local news segments. Take a listen. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority ushered in the new year with its annual Thanksgiving service earlier this week, bringing together staff and management to express gratitude for a remarkable year of achievements. Held under the theme, "It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord," the event celebrated GPHA successes while acknowledging God's divine guidance throughout the year 2024. A highlight of the gathering was the announcement of a historic milestone. The Port of Tema recorded a total cargo traffic of 21,938,731 tons, the highest in its history. This excludes the performance in December.
God has brought us this far. We have even exceeded the 2021 volumes. And if we are talking about throughputs, the throughputs we had over 26 million. This is as at November. The December figures are not yet in. And we saw the biggest vessel calls for 2024 or the whole since GPHA started. We saw the biggest vessels calling.
Beyond the record-breaking cargo traffic, GPHA also highlighted significant advancement in equipment acquisition to bolster its operational capacity.
On the pilot boats, we say thank you to management. We had our pilot boats and patrol boats, Jacob Agapon and Captain Sian. And then in December, we received our last baby, our multi-purpose badge for the name. We give thanks to God. on the equipment side, with all our noise, we still got a few. We got 46-ton reach stackers, 10 of them. We had the 36-ton muffins, we had 5. And then the 16-ton, we had 1. And then 5 tons, we had 2. And there's more in the budget for this year to procure more equipment.
The Director General of the Authority, Michael Lugoje, also reviewed ongoing projects that will further solidify GPHA's standing as a key driver of Ghana's maritime trade and logistics sector.
Last year, we were able to start the Tema Port Breakwater project. Those of you who are familiar with the port and the breakwater, it was really in a very bad state. If we risk delaying it further, we're going to have major challenges. That is being done now. It's not just being rehabilitated, but it's being modernized to last for the next 50 years.
He reflected on how the successes attained in the year 2024 gave the authority room to strengthen its workforce and create employment opportunities for many Ghanaians.
But we are all grateful today to know that there are over 1,000 contract staff, all government staff. I think there is nothing more opportune for us to say thank you to Almighty God than the opportunity we have as staff of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to give an opening for another colleague Ghanaian to work in this organization and earn a living.
The atmosphere at the Thanksgiving service was vibrant and joyous, with captivating performances by the GPHA Security Band and other staff groups adding to the celebratory mood. The lively musical performances, combined with heartfelt prayers and motivational messages, created a strong sense of unity and shared purpose. The event concluded with a renewed commitment from GPHA's leadership and staff to build on these successes and strive for even greater achievements in the new year. In a related development, the management and staff at the Port of Takoradi convened for their annual Thanksgiving service under the theme, Enter His Gate with Thanksgiving. The gathering served as a platform to reflect on God's goodness over the course of the year 2024. The event also served as a moment to celebrate collaboration between staff and management and reaffirm the shared vision of achieving greater operational excellence in the coming year. In his address, the Director of Ports, Peter Amobediakon, highlighted significant milestones, including an 11% increase in import volumes, a 44% increase in export cargo volumes, driven by manganese and bauxite shipments, and a doubling of cruise vessel calls from 7 in 2023 to 14 in 2024.
As at the end of November 2023, we have recorded just 7 cruise vessels. But as of November ending 2024, it had increased to 14, showing the interest that we have. Import cargo increased 11% from 2.5 to 2.8 million metric tons.
He also noted the inauguration of a state-of-the-art oil and gas services terminal and the launch of a medical diagnostic center, which began operations in 2024.
Our cutting-edge medical diagnostic center, that beautiful edifice that is out there, constructed by our own in-house civil engineering team, officially began operation. In April 2024. It is already bringing changes in healthcare delivery, not only to our port community, but also the metropolis and also the whole of Western Region and Western North. The last thing about the major achievement is in November, we proudly inaugurated oil and gas services terminal. This facility positions the Port of Takoradi as a significant contributor to support upstream oil and gas exploration and production operations, not only within Ghana, but throughout the West Africa South region.
The Deputy Human Resource Manager, Anthony Eshen, highlighted the progress made during the year, commending staff for their resilience and dedication.
Today we gather here with heart filled with gratitude, not only to reflect on the blessings of the past and the current year, but also to express our heartfelt appreciation for the hard work and dedication each one of you contributes to our port community.
In a poignant moment, the Deputy HR Manager led a tribute to honor 3 staff members who passed away in the year under review, recognizing their invaluable contributions to the port community. Reverend Francis Mensah, the parish priest of Martyrs of Uganda, in his sermon, reminded the port community on the need to reflect on their journey and the divine guidance that has brought them this far.
The power we have to overcome all these challenges in the year of the review is the transcendent power of God. It's the power of God that has brought us this far. So we need to celebrate the power of God. The reason why our theme says, draw near to Him, enter His gates, praise Him, and bless His holy name.
Now let's take our lenses to the global stage and see what is happening there.
Finnish authorities are investigating the Russian-linked tanker Eagle S for dragging its anchor across 50 nautical miles, damaging subsea cables in the Gulf of Finland. The vessel, part of Russia's dark fleet, is accused of vandalism, regulatory breaches, and interference with telecommunications. The case has raised suspicions of espionage, with allegations that the tanker previously carried signals intelligence equipment. Although Finnish police dismissed the claims, the incident highlights growing concerns over Russia's covert use of merchant vessels for intelligence operations. At least 7 people are confirmed dead after the Milestone, a Haitian ro-ro freighter, capsized at Port-au-Prince's Vero terminal on December 23. The vessel, carrying 34 trucks, rolled to port and came to rest on its side. Such efforts continue, with authorities still locating bodies inside the ship. Reports suggest some of the deceased may have been looters attempting to steal cargo as the vessel listed. Images show small boats near the wreck and toppled trucks sliding to the ship's low side, worsening the tilt before capsizing. The wreck occurred in a cabotage area, sparing berths used by international vessels. While cabotage operations are suspended, fuel tanker activities vital to Haiti's economy remain unaffected. The terminal operator has prioritized resupply to Haiti's southern peninsula.
Now, to our word of the day segment, we will tell you what we mean by ballast.
Ballast. In maritime terminology, ballast refers to any material used on a vessel to provide stability and maintain proper trim. Traditionally, this involved solid materials like iron or stone. In modern shipping, however, ballast water is commonly used, which is seawater taken into dedicated ballast tanks to ensure the ship's stability, especially when not fully loaded with cargo.
Our health and safety tip today will tell us why it is important to eat a healthy diet.
A healthy diet. This is a diet that maintains or improves overall health. A healthy diet provides the body with essential nutrition, fluid, macronutrients such as protein, vitamins, adequate fiber, and food energy. The requirements for a healthy diet can be met from a variety of plant-based and animal-based foods, although additional sources of vitamin B12 are needed for those following a vegan diet. Consumers should be informed, motivated, and empowered to choose healthy diets.
It's time to take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Subscribe, like, and share our videos. Thank you for watching.